I will talk you about reusable blocks, tokens, templates. I will just tell you the background, why I will invest some time in some development about that. You will see something else. We are just a little company with two persons. One people is just making content, and I'm more the technical people. And so the idea was to make some content more reusable on the pages, and also to separate some difficult kinds of HTML in other places to separate just the content and some things like slides. This is an example of a website we have done, and you see in the middle this is just an HTML module, but we have included a slideshow, and on the bottom something like this. And you know it's very difficult to do that, to include all these tiny things in the HTML module. Surely if the user have to update that kind of things. That was one use case which driving me to find solutions. Another example is something like this. It's a list of events or articles, but they are grouped by day. So most of articles modules they cannot group by day. So you have to develop some custom work. That was another use case we want to solve. And another use case, this is just a newsletter, which is in fact driven by a template, but from a template based on different kind of modules we have on BNN. This is on the left side just a list of events. On the right side it's articles which are featured, and we have on the top also table of contents corresponding to the articles of the you see on the beside. That's what we drive the work we have done here. Actually, if you want to share contents on 2 pages, you have the possibility to share module across pages with add existing module on another page, or use specific kind of modules like latest news articles or category modules that are some extension to a main module. Or you can also use the RSS feed module to pick up content from the blog module or announcement or other things. So what we're missing shares more kind of snippets HTML or media around the website, include in one module content which come from different kinds of other modules to make it in the same visual place of one module. So I go maybe just a little quicker, but so the idea is to separate the concepts, to have a place where the end user can just fill in some kind of things he will share, like on different places like tests, HTML links. For designers, they have to create a little bit complicated HTML, CSS. We want a specific place to store that kind of things. And for developers, we want to give the possibility to develop some kind of things that the end user of a designer can reuse easily on his pages. That's what I mean. So to store some kind of text blocks or HTML blocks, we have created a new module which name it, we have named it the blocks admin module, where you can put just some kind of text of HTML snippets. And we have also created another tool, it's the Template Studio, which it's a new module where you can manage templates, HTML, CSS file in an integrated environment. So blocks, what are blocks? Just some, if you recognize the structure of a DNN website with sites, pages, modules. Blocks are something below the modules. It's just a little part of a module content. So it's only content. It has nothing visual like a container for modules. There is no functionality like a module, and it's very, very simple. So it will really not replace an article module. You can see it a little bit like custom site settings. Just some place where you can put some things that you maybe want to put in the site settings, but there's just no field for it. So it's like you can create new places on the website where you can create some client snippets. You can think for just simple examples. If you want to put the email of the salesperson of the company, if you want to put it on a central place, because sometimes it will change and you use it on different places of your website, you can put it in a little block and then reuse it on all the pages. Another example is maybe if you use Facebook widgets on your website, on many places, you can put it in a block, and so you can reuse it on many places of your website. Yes, you see, you just see nothing. So I will show the demo for that. It's just the model screenshots, just a list of blocks. I don't see, do you see something? Yes, I don't see anything. Just a simple list. A block have a name, have a type, and you can give a scope to a block to just tell some blocks are only visible on some languages, and in the future maybe only for some rows or something like that. That's the editor where you have 3 tabs: definition, scope, and content. But I will show a demo with that. So the second concept we introduced is tokens. But you know, tokens are already present in the core, but are very limited. You can use it for display the name of a user or something like this. Here we have introduced a really extensible token mechanism, which is based on a provider system. So it's a little bit like sitemap providers or caching providers. So the first part of the token, here block, this is what identify the provider which will be used to generate the output of that token. And each developer, if you want, can create new tokens just by create one class and define it in the web.config as a new token provider, and it will be available on all your HTML modules of your website. The second part is parameters, so you can have many parameters on a token. Here we have just one parameter, but you can have more than that. It's just the token provided developer. We have to define the names of the parameters you need it for your token. So that's the HTML editor of DNN. You know about it. We have just created a new button on the toolbar for integrate tokens in your HTML modules. So, do you see something? Because I don't see nothing. Not so good, huh? But I hope in the demo it's a little bit better. But just you click on that new button, and then you have a new pop-up which come up. Here it's just a drop-down list with the list of all the HTML modules of the website, and so you can choose another HTML module, and the content of the HTML module was integrated via a token in your HTML module. So I will make just a little demo of it. I hope it was a little bit better. It's just a standard website, so you can see here we have two new options. The open blocks, that's the module where we can define blocks. But I just see it. Yes, here. For example, here it's just a block named test with scope all and with the content hello open blocks, and we have the same blocks, another block with the same name in English with a different content. It's just very simple, this module, but the intent of that module is to reuse the content of the blocks in your modules. So the content of the blocks are now available in your HTML editor via that little button. You don't see anything, huh? Or
not very much.
It just everything is white. No?
There's a little bit of gray there. Looks good on your display though, right?
Yes, I don't see nothing. Just here are the list of all your token providers. I have just created some token providers as example. If one of the providers is a block provider, and if I choose that, I have a drop down with all my blocks I defined in the other model I showed just before. So if I choose my block named test, I do OK. It just insert the token in my HTML module, and then I save it. I have the content of the block is shown on the website. And because I have created two blocks, one with the scope all and one with the scope English, if I change the language, I have the content of the block with the scope corresponding with the context in which I been at this time.
Do you have to find a wrapper around the rich text provider? When does it get inserted?
I just have made HTTP module which which intercept the controls, and in the pre-render I replace the content of them. Another example of tokens. I have I have created a token provider which is HTML module. It's just if you want to put in my HTML on this HTML module content coming from two other HTML modules. For example, to make a table with 4 cells, and in each cell I put content of 4 HTML modules coming from other places on my website. I can just choose here token provider HTML module and choose one of the other HTML module of my website. is just a listing of all the HTML modules of the website. I can, for example, it's just the standard DNN website, so I know on the home page I have, for example, a company, I think it's the company name from the site or company. So I click OK, and now you see it generates another token provider, name is HTML module, and you have the model ID as parameter, and when I save it, I just have the content of that other module is appears here. So just another little example. It's an example is based on an open source module from it's BB image handler. You know, it's a handler to crop or resize images dynamically. You know about that?
From Thorsten,
yeah, from Thorsten. It's an image resizer handler. And I have just created a wrapper around that and put it in a token provider. So I can here choose my image token provider. Then I have a configuration screen which I can access all the image of the website. So I can show, for example, that's the banner, one of the image of the banner, and I say crop this image 100 by 100. Okay, so I create a new token here, image with the parameters. If I click OK, it generates the image 100 by 100 cropped. So that's just some examples of tokens providers that you can extend it by yourself. I will show you a more advanced token provider after that. So now it's a third concept we created. It's widgets. Now it's very different concept that are now present in DNN, and for the moment there is also a concept of widgets. I think not so much people use it, but are client-side widgets. These are server-side widgets. These widgets are based on the token provider, a special type of token provider. It's named widget, and that token provider has two parameters. The first one, it's a name of a template. In this case, it's a Razor template, CSHTML template. And the second parameter is a data source. So it's just to tell where you have to pick the data to inject in the template to generate the output for that token widget. So you can recognize, try things, token in this kind of widget, template, Razor, data source, Twitter, and you can recognize a little bit the MVC shooter in that kind of things. So just to summarize, we have just created three generic engine that you can extend if you want. The first one, token engine, talk about it, to inject variable HTML and also widgets in your content of your website. Template engine is just something to manage the generation of the content from templates. I have included here two template engines. The Razor template, which is based on the Razor engine included in DNN, and the second one, Liquid. Liquid is a syntax nearby mustache or with double accolades, if you know about it. But it's server-side. And we have included also a third engine, the data source engine, which is also extensible by developers and which they can just it's responsible to give the data to the template, and the data can come from many times of kind of data sources, just up the developer. Now I give some standard data sources with it, but you can just create your own if you want. So all the things can be used, like I've shown, from the widget, but you can also, if you develop modules by your own, just use not the token engine, but just the template engine to generate your output of your module, if you want. And tokens can also be used directly in skins. So you can, in the text token from DNN, you know about that, and there's a text token, and for the moment you can also use the core tokens in that skin object. But now you can also use this kind of tokens. So you can, if you want, the designer of the skin can, if you want, put some tokens in it. So the end user has just to create the blocks, and the content of the skins is replaced with the content of the blocks, if you want. So templates. So we have also will to a little bit standardize, give the template engine some standards. This is a little bit based on the blog post of Peter Donker he have done on DNN Connect some times ago. I don't know if you read it. It's about organizing the file structure of templates. I have based the templates engine on that kind of organization also. So the templates, they can use it in modules, in skins, and by the widgets we have seen, and they are stored on 3 named places. The system is in desktop modules. It's a typical place where you place your templates that are delivered with your modules. The second place is the host, it's portal default, and the third place is portal ID. That are the 3 places where we can place the templates. In the future, I think maybe I give also the possibility to store it in portals model ID, to really have templates only accessible to one model instance, but it's not yet finished. So to manage this, we have made a new tool, the Template Studio, which is a place where you can make templates, CSS, JS, share others. I speak a lot for this. So I choose to implement 2 template engines. The other template engine, you know, I think about that. It's very powerful. It's, I think, unlimited in the functionalities because you have access to full .NET framework. About security, you have full access, so you can also change everything in your website with that. So in some cases, it's not so good to give this kind of templates to end users. To manage whether you have, we propose to have, and some modules have also an online editor to modify the other templates, but you have also Visual Studio that you can use to work very faster with Razor. It's C# VB. So Razor is really made for users which are host users only, and it's more developer-minded syntax or language. So that's the reason we have already implemented a second template engine. The big difference is here that it's really secure. Everything is it's managed by the developer. We give the data to the template engine to say that that object, that field of that object can be accessible on the template or not. So it's more for designers because it's used a syntax well known by designers because it's a syntax really used much on client side also on or other PHP systems also. And you can just give it to end users because it's really secure. So that's the look and feel of the template studio we have created, but I think I show it on the demo because the screen isn't so good. So here, that's the second module we have created, and I just added here in admin module. So okay. So because we are creating a generic template editor, we are thinking it's also nice to manage the templates of the widgets, but it's also nice that we have the same editor to manage templates of other modules. So this module can, for example, manage the templates of the block module. So just choose here your module where you want to edit templates. You can choose on which storage you want to access the templates. I think, for example, here on the default templates of the block modules are on desktop modules. So you click on your module and then you have the templates of the block module that you can edit in an editor based on code mirror with code inside. And what we have to try to do here also is to really have a desktop experience while you're editing your template. And what we have just focused on some things we really lose when we use an online editor on the existing modules of DNN. It's first of all to have some color syntaxing, to have some code inside for HTML, CSS and JavaScript, to have an autosave functionality. So just if you type some things in, after some seconds, the system is it autosaves the file. When you modify after 5 seconds, it modifies the file. It saves the file. You can also go to full screen to really have the lines on full white. And if you are in full screen, you can also use Ctrl+S to save without to switch back to normal screen to go back.
Just ask me a quick question. Is it actually saving the file to the original at that point?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if it was a live template and you were halfway through editing it, you won't be careful.
Yes. Yes. And the big difference with the most of editors we find is also when you type and you save with Ctrl+S, the cursor stay on the place where you are. And most of the existing editors, you save and then you have a page refresh, and you go back to the beginning of the file. It's very. So that's the things we focused on at this moment at the editor, and you have some code inside for HTML, and if you. But this is just code mirror plugins that are used for doing that. So, what's the time? You can also edit skins with the studio, the template studio. Just if you choose here skins, you can go to the skins of DNN. You can find just a skin. Let's say 6 files. Okay. If you want to make some changes to the skin, you can do it now also online with just a color syntax editor. You can edit your CSS files of your skin, and you can look at your images of your skin if you want. The third thing is managing the widgets, which I talking about just before. And so widgets are not really modules, it's just something is based on the token engine, but they use some templates, and here is the place where you can manage them. I just show you little examples. So this is an example of the psychology query plugin. Just a plugin. The original plugin called yes. This is just a copy of the snippet from the jQuery plugin website. I put it here, and I have a preview button, and here you see the plugin is working. It's just image changing one after the other. So I have just transformed this plugin in a real plugin, in a real widget. So you see the image which was repeated on the HTML is now generated by Razor, which he picked his data from a data source.
Sasha, I see a template of register script and register style sheet. Does it really use the client resource management?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes. There are some Razor helpers which come with it, which in this case just inject the CSS file and the JavaScript in the client dependency framework. So here the concept is really that the data is management independently of the template. So here it used really the standard mechanism of MVC, .NET MVC. And the data comes from a model. And the kind of model is used in the Razor templates is just defined here. This is a little bit old MVC syntax, that's because DNN integrate only the old MVC framework of .NET. It's MVC 3, I think. And the new one gives the possibility to just type ask row model and the model name. It's just the same. It's what you see here. Now we have to say to the template where you pick your data. For testing purposes, I have give the possibility here in the template studio to define where to pick up the data. You have to do it in a separate file. The file is named the same name as the template, but with an extension data source. If I click on it, in this case, the data come just from a cross file, a class file. This is a data source, but in reality it's just a static method on the class. And here, these are the parameters this data source needed. On this example, it's just the path to a directory on your website. So this is used to generate the model for the template. If I go back to the template, if I have just here the preview button, and this will just pick the data source, generate the model, instantiate the template, and show it on
the settings for the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it how to load the model, which to inject into the view?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So you see, now the cycle plugin is just pick up the images of the standard directory of .NET with the theme photos that are present on the standard DNN installation. So you see, I have just a directory, but I want just the theme photos, so I have just here add a link query to the model to filter out the images that are given by the model, to just pick up the photos which have in his name theme. Because in the standard DNN installation, if you look, you have 10 or 15 photos which begin with theme.
If you now open this in Visual Studio, you have full access and IntelliSense. Does it recognize your model?
Yes. So if I go to, is this stored in portals?
PowerPoint.
Yeah. Is it another one? So I'm just in portal 0. There I have the module name. It's here. It's widgets, and there I have a subdirectory templates, and I'm now just working in the template test1, and there I have the C# file. No, I'm working with cycle on the C cross file. And here I have just what you're talking about. If I do intent, but this, yes, it's just
already that's wherever the supporting cells. It's really great.
It's really use the model which is defined here. It's very nice if you have complicated templates to make. It's really nicer to do it in Visual Studio than in the online editor. So this was just an example. We have not so much time, so I go to the better. Just a little. I have, for example, create a data provider for the form and list module. So, and thanks to dynamics of .NET, I just have all the attributes created in the form and list module. It's here, form and list module. Here, I create a form and list module just with two fields, a title and an image. I have just put 3 records in it, and now you can have. Here in data source, I have the name of my provider, the method, and just the model ID of the form and list module. Now, here in this interface, you have to know the model ID to find it. But if you are in the HTML module with the little button, you have just a drop-down list that shows you the list of the module on your site. And so you see here, now the model is different. You can just iterate on the rows of your form and list module, and you can access the fields of the form and list module just by name of the attribute you give in your form and list module. If I just make a preview, I have just the content of the form and list module. Another example I have just to show is based on the block module. It's just something. It's based on a data source provider which used RSS. You can see I use an RSS provider which is use a RSS feed, and you just have here put the name, the URL of your RSS feed. I have just make a copy of the RSS feed of DNN Connect blog website. But because there was some problem with the internet, I have just saved the file corresponding to this one to my file system. So here just an example to iterate on the blog items and show the publish date and the title of the blog. And this is just the list of all the blogs of DNN Connect. You can just to go a little bit more. You can, with link queries, make a little bit statistics about the blogs on DNN Connect to see the number of blogs posts there are each month, in the month March, in the month April, in the month May. You have some statistic, and if you go just order, you can also, just to show possibilities of it, you can also make charts with statistics of the DNN, of the post on DNN Connect. So now all the widgets you create here are now also available in the HTML editor with the token system. And if you now just want to integrate something coming from templates, you have just to choose here the widget token provider, choose the template you want to use, for example the blog. Just not choose the blog this time. I just changing. I know there is some problem with the chart, so I just put another thing than the chart. Yes, I use this one. For this example, I just not use a rather template, but a liquid template, just to show something else. So if I go to the DNN Connect website, I copy the URL of the RSS, I put it as URL. It generates the token with the template name, the data provider, the template, the URL, and it generates yes. No, it's really from internet, so it's a bit slower. This is just it's just the 5 first blog posts of DNN Connect, generated by a liquid template through a data source, an RSS data source. How much time we have?
Take all the time you need.
Are there many developers here?
Yeah.
Yes, everyone. So I will just show you who you have to create
Sasha,
Yes.
is this open source?
Yes, it will be open source. Sure.
Oh, great.
In reality, it's not really finished. It's working out, but I have first the first thing is missing for the moment is the packaging. But I think it's in really near future I put it on Codeplex.
GitHub, please.
Because people can donate and create pull requests for you. But you can put Git on Codeplex.
Yeah, but pull requests.
No? I don't know, I'm not a specialist, but I heard that the pull request is also no problem.
Okay.
But is this provider scheme is part of the DNN core? No.
What?
If it's part of the DNN core.
No, we just installed it and then it will work.
No, but the thing is, like we have white tokens, our problem is in the session we have to get into the HTML module in other places to replace it. But the core module already supposed token is just this devotion redaction to support the provider interface. And then I can hook in that.
But yes, I think it was the best thing that we want. Huh? So I don't know, but if the kind of token provider can go in the core, you can use it also by yourself to make a token provider that generate your content.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
So this should be part of the core.
Yes.
I think
The provider now, okay, you have your tokens, I have my tokens.
Yes.
The mechanism for them to call our
Yes.
providers should be in the core.
Yes.
I think you have also solved a lot of problems how to generate MVC modules. So you have done a lot of homework for the new collaboration.
No, I will show you just who to make a token provider. So it's really simple. You will see. It's just about to begin to create one class. I'll do it here in demo. You have to create one new class. I just Facebook, but I have the same class already existing, just I have to choose another name. Facebook token provider. I just created in AppCode just to make it very simple and very fast to do. Here is my class file. So I just inherit from token provider. It's just a class in the Satrabel token namespace, and then you have just implement the abstract methods that are in. So you can automatically implement by Visual Studio, and you have just to implement one method, and this method has just to return the content which was generated for the output to the HTML module. So you have just here create a return some string. Now, for example, I will create a token which generates the Facebook widget, the like box. You know about the like box? It's a box with your logo. You can put faces on it. You know about it? It's just Facebook like box.
So folks, we're running quite tight on time. Are the other presentations actually going to take place this afternoon? Because we've got to leave at 5.
I don't know.
There are 3 more after this.
3 more.
I have to ask the organization, I think. I have prepared some things here. So my token, you have it? Yes. The idea is to generate this kind of boxes on your website, just to make it very easy for the end user to put some kind of boxes in his HTML modules. So we just create a token for it. So the first thing we have to retrieve are the parameters we needed for the Facebook like box. I have just make it simple, choose 2 parameters. The URL, if the URL of a Facebook page, which was the source to generate the like box. It's the parameter you've seen here. I think if you then go next. So just so if you this is just the DNN connect Facebook page and then you have. The first parameter is the URL. Another parameter I put on it is show faces. Is just this one. If you uncheck it, all the faces are away. So you pick the parameters from here from the parameter dictionary, and then just generate the HTML needed to generate the like box. It's just what you see here. If you click on get code, it's just a copy paste of the iframe version of the like box. And just if you look at it, there are some things to replace some. And here are the parameters which are passed to string format to generate the good iframe. So when we have made this token provider, here we are finished for the token provider. It's ready. So now we have just to declare it in the web.config. Here, and you know, if you want, you can also automatize the generation of this kind of lines in your web.config in your module manifest file. So you can, if you want, just create a module package, or no, I would say an extension package, which includes the provider and something you need to add the token, the lines in your web.config. It's yes, okay. I just finished this one and then just add this line. But maybe I just finished. But the idea is that you have at your line here. Here you have the name of your class. Here we have a friendly name. It's really the name which is used in the token in the HTML. Okay. And after that we have another parameter. This is just the user interface class. It's a user control as CSX. which is used to generate the interface when you click on the little button on the toolbar of the editor, you know. So you have create the token provider plus a user control for the interface. I will just show. I create them in the directory providers, and here token provider, and I have the Facebook configurator is the user control to manage the two fields, the URL and a checkbox for show faces or not. This is really the user control here. You see just a text box, just a checkbox, and the code behind, just like is something like this. You have to implement in reality just one method here. That's just output the token, see, with the parameters that you need for your token provider. And when you have do this, when you have created this user control and he is also defined in the web config, they becomes automatically available in the list of tokens providers in the widget you have on the editor. This is the basis method. This method you have to implement. You have two other methods: load settings and save settings. This is if you want also to save the settings of this configuration something else. If you want to include it in your module and use it as some settings of your module, you can also use these methods. But it's not really necessarily if you want just use it as just if you just want to use it here, it's not necessary.
Great.